Bhopal. He's also an author of The Making of a New India Vision of India at 2050. Welcome you, sir, at today's event. We also have Dr. Rajul Gajjar. She is currently the Vice Chancellor of GTU, Gujarat Technological University. She was also honored in 2024 with Dr. Shyam Prasad Mukherjee Citation for Academic Leadership. We welcome you, ma'am. We also have with us Dr. Man- K. Mallikarjuna Babu, Vice Chancellor of Belghotia University with us today. Dr. Madhulika Kaushik, Vice Chancellor of Usha Martin University with us. Dr. Sandhir Sharma, Vice Chancellor Chitkara University, Punjab. We have Dr. Professor Saili Gankar, who's the Vice Chancellor of Dr. D.Y. Patil University. Professor Harkiran Kaur, Pro Vice Chancellor of Chitkara University. We would also shortly have Professor V. N. Rajshekharan Pillai, who's the Vice Chancellor of Somaya Vidya Vihar University. So, on behalf of Assessfy, I am Anita Ram, Director at Assessfy. Would like to welcome all of you at today's event. So before we proceed ahead with the event, where we start with a panel discussion, I would quickly like to take you all through what we are, what SSY is, and what are the solutions and services of what we provide. So I'll just take 5 minutes of your time to discuss about this and throw some light on that. Praveen, if I can share my screen. Thank you. I hope my screen is visible with everyone.
It is.
So let me quickly give you an insight about Assessfy AI. Around the topic, we'll be discussing about measuring and improving learning outcome and how Assessfy AI is helping transforming assessment into an active learning. Before moving ahead, I would like to have your attention to a short video here.
Are you envisioning the implementation of outcome-based education as outlined by the new education policy, NEP, in its truest sense? And aiming to secure NAAC and NBA accreditation, as well as improve your NIRF ranking? But do you find yourself grappling with challenges when it comes to translating this vision into reality? Introducing Assessfy, the world's first AI-powered auto-learning outcome measurement tool. Assessfy empowers you by aiding in the planning, tracking, measuring and course and program learning outcome, COPO, attainment report generation. Assessfy is designed to facilitate a seamless transition to an outcome-based education model, providing tools for curriculum alignment, assessment design, standardizing, and continuous assessments, all in line with the NEP's guidelines. Additionally, Assessfy can support your preparations for NBA and NAAC accreditation and NIRF ranking. Connect with our team to witness the.
That was a video. Let me move ahead.
Are you?
So just looking at the problem statement in today's world. So let's begin with the problem statement. So today we understand that assessment plays a very crucial role in shaping the learning outcomes. But unfortunately, there are often limitations to grading, like giving students marks but not helping them develop or measure higher order skills or higher cognitive skills like problem solving, analysis, and creativity. Currently, as we see, there are a lot of content available like on YouTube, Coursera, all e-learning platforms, which is available for the students to learn. But the real challenge here is not about the content availability, but about what the students actually know, how much they really know, and where they can apply this, whether they are able to apply this or not. So moving ahead, why it is really required now. So today learners and the evolving job market, what we have, it demanded advanced skills beyond the rote learning. Unfortunately, traditional systems have several limitations, what we really know, and overemphasis on grade instead of learning outcomes. Little clarity on the skills, each question which is actually assessed, manual and lot of errors which is there in the evaluation, and very limited feedback which is provided to the learners. Traditional assessment has their own limitations and challenges like over focus on the grades, limited skill measurement, difficulty in measuring the effectiveness, and the manual grading or evaluation is actually becoming the bottleneck when there is a huge group size, and of course the skill gaps. Moving ahead, the challenges, like I said, in the traditional assessment, what we have just gone through, like skill gap and the mismatch expectations. Now, challenges in LO, like learning outcome reporting, measurement, and the quality. So, subject outcome alignment, manually aligning outcomes to individual question is becoming, little challenging for every faculty member when they do it manually. So, it's challenging, whether it is Bloom's taxonomy or any other kind of tool what we use across to match and map the questions. LMS and ERP limitations, of course, existing LMS system, they have their own capabilities to measure and aligning learning outcomes, but it has its own limitation as well. Investment and logical hurdles, of course, implementing large scale training program to really make everybody understand how this really works and accurately measure the learning outcome out of it. It is again it faces a lot of challenges there, and complex data compilation when the number is large, batch size is large, lot of questions, then mapping it with after every test, after every assessment, it becomes a hurdle for the institute faculty members to really generate such reports and create those compilation at manual level. So the burden, what we understand here is, that actually institutions are struggling with manual outcome at around 68%, where they're tracking everything and doing it in manual ways. They spend almost like more than 120 hours into this activity rather than where they can really spend that into their academics. And also by doing everything manually, they spend there are errors at around 40 to 45%. This is just a survey what we have done and got these numbers here. So here we come with a solution, that is with Assessfy AIs. What are the innovations, what we have done, and how we can really help institution to overcome this. World's first automated learning outcome measurement platform, what we have, the tool what we have introduced, which helps evaluate foundational knowledge and advanced skills like analysis, evaluation, and also innovation. Auto evaluation, the platform helps to auto evaluate any type of assessment, right from digital, handwritten, coding, viva, oral, essays, and many more, case studies and all. Auto evaluation, auto personalized feedback for learning. So as I said, Assessfy AI platform is helping students to give them a feedback, which is not just the scores which they get after their exams are done, but of course a feedback which give them the deeper insight about what they have really learned, what they have understood, and where they have to really progress or improve in the area which they lack. Competency based question generation, yes, generates the question with the help of the platform, helps generating the question in any field, any domain, what you want to generate. COPO report generation, it provides helps and provides data and report generation based on the learning outcome, for which is easy for generation of NAC and NB accreditation reports. And also the platform supports project-based learning, an end-to-end solution for project management, evaluation, and providing the feedback to the students. So Honorable Minister Shri Jain Chaudhary ji, he unveiled the first learning outcome measurement platform, that is Assessfy AI, this year on 20th Feb in New Delhi during an event. So a photograph with him. There's another video where I would like to have your attention for a minute.
Presenting you Assessfy, the world's first AI-powered auto-learning outcome measurement system. Let's look at measurement of learning outcome. A singular outcome like the grade or score of 62 out of 100 is an abstract number, offering no insight into a candidate's capabilities at a granular level. Here is Assessfy AI providing you with deeper level insights into proficiency across the 6 cognitive knowledge and skill levels defined by Bloom's taxonomy. For instance, in this assessment, a candidate performed very well in recall or knowledge, and understanding but poorly on higher cognitive capabilities like application of knowledge, ability to analyze, evaluate, and create. Now you can take action based on this insight. Isn't this a better approach than relying on a singular outcome matrix, such as a simple score? Connect with our team today to witness.
So project-based learning, as I said, what Assessfy AI platform is providing, these are the key feature of the platform, like smart project allocation. You can select the topic from any domain, any branch, and the topic would be aligned to the student. So end-to-end workflow, complete project management system from conception, like, from the topic idea generation to the final evaluation. Like we said, we have project idea bank there. So any topic could be chosen. Project material repository is available, customizable rubrics. So their, evaluation criteria can be defined. Milestone setup and tracking. So for the project time phrase which is taken by the students to really deliver the project, the milestone can be set up and it could be tracked properly on every milestone, what they have done and what is pending. Flexible evaluation options are there, continuous feedback they will get to improve and what needs to be done next, and evaluator assignment. So these are a couple of features of project-based learning what we have. Now here we come how Assessfy works. So intelligent question bank management or generation, as I said, we have. So manual questions can be generated in all different formats. Right? Like I said, our platform supports MCQ, digital assessment, handwritten assessment, descriptive assessment, coding assessment. So any type of questions can be generated across all domains. AI questions, like we said, it could be generated. Auto mapping of the questions to the learning outcome, comprehensive support of MCQ descriptive, like I already said, and project repository, what we have in project based learning. Then exam and assessment delivery, pen paper exam can be exam generation and conduction of the same. So students can really write the pen handwritten assessment can be done, and then they can scan the answer sheet, and the evaluation could be done through the system. Online exam delivery can be done. Advanced rubric system for standard evaluation, as I said. Answer sheet scanning and uploading by students, and then the evaluation, project allocation and monitoring. Auto evaluation and manual evaluation systems both are available in the platform. So that can also be done. Results and learning outcome reports for accreditation and quality. So once the entire evaluation process takes place, then the advanced level of result processing and report generation activity happens in the system that can really help the institute, the faculty members to really use these reports for accreditation purpose, which will reduce down their a lot of time and efforts in doing it in manual way. These are different solutions what we provide at Assessfy. Assessfy solutions would be called it. We have DG exam, cognitive question bank generation, auto grading facility, learning outcome report generation, code evaluation, maths evaluation, project evaluation, campus recruitment preparation solutions for the students to really prepare them for their placements, and assess me. So this is our team in case anybody we are working with a lot of institute here. We have done pilots with almost 50 plus institutes, and conducted assessment for around 20,000 plus students in these couple of months. So we would request anybody who's interested can connect with my team. The credentials are mentioned there. And with that, thank you very much for listening me patiently. And I would now like to hand it over to Mr. Dhairya to take forward with the panel discussion.
Thank you, Anita. Thank you so much. And I think your presentation set up the context in the right direction for this exciting panel discussion. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everybody, those who are attending from across the globe. I, Bhupesh Dharia, extend very warm welcome to all of you for this exciting panel discussion. We have amazing lineup of speakers, those who are leaders in education. They are true teachers. They have amazing experience in policy making. And together we are going to take a deep dive into this exciting panel discussion. How do we really use AI? How we can really leverage AI to not only measure the learning outcome, but also improve the learning outcome. The panel discussion will focus around 4 areas or 5 areas. We'll begin with why, what, and how of OBE, outcome-based education. We'll try to really see what is the ground reality, what are the challenges faculties are facing on the ground, and why this exciting initiative, exciting policy of measuring outcome-based education has become a tick the box exit activity on the ground. Third, we will try to really see how we can really empower our educators, empower our students with tool of AI, digital technology, right? And how we can really move this outcome-based education beyond compliance, beyond the paper ritual. And last, we will try to really see how we can really roll out, how we can really operationalize technological intervention or otherwise for measuring and making this learning outcome-based education truly transformative, which can really take India or a globe at a different level. With this note, let's take a deep dive into the panel discussion. And to begin with, Dr. P.V. Sharma, since you are the senior most person and your blessings are with me for almost last 30 years, uh, I would like to really throw a question on you, right? Of course, I would not like to really put in the boundary. What are your thoughts? What are the genesis of this whole outcome-based education? What was the need and why we are really after this outcome-based education? So that those who are not from education, they will also get some context. And from there, we will build up the whole discussion.
First of all, let me say that I'm so much delighted to be with the learned panel and also with Mr. Bhupesh Daharia, whom I have known from my days as the founder vice chancellor of Rajiv Gandhi Pradyogiki Vishwavidyalaya. You have done a great job, and I'm so much delighted that my galaxy of vice chancellors colleagues are here, Professor Saili ji, Professor Mallikarjun ji, Professor Madhulika ji, Professor Rajul Gajjar ji, and so many learned people today. Today is Guru Purnima, and we feel so much delighted to be part of such a great panel looking at where we are and where we should go now in terms of our focus on learning and learning outcomes, creating future-ready workforce, which will be of great value to creating a great future, not only for us here in India, but for the humanity at large. From that point of view, I thought, let me put before you one or two points which are very, very important. First of all, people like me, and I'm sure my vice chancellor colleagues, have been in the world of learning and world of education throughout our life. We have been focusing on teaching, and now for the last maybe 10, 20 years, we have started talking about learning rather than teaching. And then came, of course, our focus on outcome on the basis of the curriculum, the framework that we provide. We wish to assess whether we have done justice to what we have really aimed at. This whole idea of outcome-based learning was focusing around a set structured curriculum and what it expects people to learn. But today we are in a very different age. This is a new age where artificial intelligence and technology has created a great advantage, in my opinion. I call it advantage India for a country like India, where for a long time we were saying that we require the world-class teachers. Today you can create world-class teachers provided they become accustomed to use of artificial intelligence to improve their communication skills, their depth of knowledge, their capabilities of delivering the content in the shortest possible time, understanding the dynamics of their class, and also taking them along the learning outcome that they require. But take me for granted that I'm not here merely for learning. हमारे यहाँ फोकस रहा पढ़ने और पढ़ाने पर, और तीसरा फोकस रहा इम्तहान पर कि हम असेस करें, देखें कितना पढ़ा इन्होंने, कितना याद रखा, कितना ये अच्छे ढंग से हमें बता सकते हैं. बट वी आर इन एज टुडे पर बियॉन्ड टीचिंग एंड लर्निंग, वी आर इन द एज वेयर पीपल आर लुकिंग एट अवर competencies, what we are capable of, whether we are capable of working in today's technology savvy environment at the workplace. Are we able to adapt the changing environment? Are we able to walk through the rapid changes that are taking place in the workplace as well as in the world of learning and world of knowledge? Are we able to cope up with the pressure of performance that is ever increasing? And therefore, our learning outcomes, in my opinion, must be given a greater priority to what I call graduate outcome rather than merely learning outcomes.
Right.
Learning outcomes are all right at the school level, but when you are at a university level, creating a future-ready workforce, a workforce that would be ready to run straight away in the industry and become part of a collaborative team, an interdisciplinary team, a team that delivers the promise of contributing and making profound contribution, your emphasis has to be on graduate outcome more And then our learning outcomes must be focused around graduate outcome. So this is called the inverse problem rather than the direct problem. So you will look at what you want to finally produce at the end of the 4 years of your studies, and then accordingly see what you do. Having said that, let me also say that the whole lot of change, in my opinion, is required even in the way we prepare our students for learning or for research or for innovations or for walking them through the capabilities, capacity building and capabilities that they require. When I asked my grandson that I'm going to speak in Mr. Bhupesh Daria's program where Vice Chancellor colleagues would also be there, he said, Dada, you know better than me. I said, no, I want to learn from you. He has just returned from America after scoring the topper's position in his course in computer science engineering, scoring artificial intelligence 100 out of 100, whatever, 4 out of 4, and so on. He told me that in their university, they don't teach you. Rather, they make you to learn and make you to develop your own capability. From the day one in the first year, immediately after orientation, they give you a small project. So this is called project-based learning. Your learning outcome continuously improve through the project-based learning through it. And this project is not individual, it's a team project, and therefore the collaborative learning. You learn what you require, rest of it is there in the knowledge reservoir. Right. And today, with the advent of artificial intelligence, this could be, in fact, a very effective tool for enhancing our capabilities and enhancing the pace of learning and accelerating, in fact, our understanding of problem-solving capability that the world requires. At the same time, they also understand that a whole lot of technologies are required in the project-based learning. They tend to take those courses and tend to develop those competencies. I tried this in Delhi College of Engineering, where I was principal for 20 years and also later on vice chancellor for Delhi Technological University. I found that project-based learning right from the first year creates, in fact, highly employable people who are future ready also. And that is why in Delhi College of Engineering and DTU, you find 300-400 industries are rushing straight away for giving employment, and the highest salary is hitting headline. Even IIT became envious of Delhi Technological University. I'm doing the same thing here at Amity University program, driving the agenda of not only learning outcomes from on the basis of individual courses, but doing an inverse problem. What I want to produce at the end of the day, I want to produce innovative minds. I want to create enterprising mind. I want to create technology savvy mind. I want to create interdisciplinary mind. I want to create people who are excited and enthused and inspired and energetic and all the time jumping on their feet to give something back to the society on the basis of what they have learned. And it is this kind of agenda, in my opinion, it must be in front of each one of us as the vice chancellors, as heads of the institutions, as the teachers of the classroom. I'm so happy that you have picked up such great institutions, universities here. Gujarat Technical University has done a great job. They have a lot of promise. D.Y. Patil had done a great job. Chitkara, of course, is making a headline in its own way. And of course, actually, Amity University, no less, and Mallikarjun Kaushik ji also coming from Usha Martin University. All these universities are universities of great relevance. And today, we have to deliver this promise for tomorrow. Let me finish by saying that our learning outcomes tailored around our graduate outcomes must keep in mind that what you are teaching today has to be relevant 4 years later. Because after all, the graduate will walk into the corridors of the institution after passing the degree, and therefore the window of the future and developing those future-ready capabilities, in my opinion, is absolutely essential. And therefore, we have to go beyond NEP 2020, which may be focusing on the earlier concept of outcome-based learning and assessment and all this. Take as many examinations as you possible, even torture your student as much as you can, but please give them the window and opportunity to develop themselves as problem solvers, as future-ready professionals who will deliver the promise to Mother India and be part and parcel of Viksit Bharat that we all wish to create in front of our own eyes. I wish you with these thoughts, and thank you so much for giving me this great opportunity. Very happy Guru Purnima to all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for such a enlightening thoughts, right, and real old experience which you have shared. And in fact, you highlighted very important point, which is the project-based learning, and the world is moving. In fact, ChatGPT and others have already created a very strong, robust knowledge reservoir, and any time you can really tap. Today's employer are willing to really pay if you can really deliver, develop the product, or you can really roll out the marketing strategy, you can sell the product or those kind of stuff. In fact, for last 10 years, we have been aggressively implementing project-based learning at AGC School of Data Science, where we have already defined the outcome that what our graduates are going to do, right? So we offer postgraduate program in data science. So we already defined that, yes, if this person is going to really become a data scientist in Axis Bank, or if this guy is going to become an AI engineer in Fractal, what kind of job he is going to do, right? Is he going to really stop the fraud which is happening in credit card or say loans, or if he joins healthcare, is he going to really develop a AI tool which will really analyze the CT scans? And from there, we go and we design the curriculum, right? And then we actually put what kind of stuff we are going to really teach them. And then accordingly, we give them the projects. We throw them the water. We tell, okay, this is the project, say develop, say facial recognition, attendance-based system. And then you start learning whatever those components. So wonderful thoughts, sir. I completely echo with whatever you have shared. Now, moving further, now we have understood why learning outcome shift.
I do not know whether your readers know that Mr. Bhupet Daharia himself, when he graduated, he said, I don't want to just walk through with the knowledge that I possess. I want to transform myself as an entrepreneur. And at that time, he started something which was very odd. I was rather surprised. He said, I want to create competencies in the area of telecommunication engineering, because the days of IT would require high level of competence. And believe it or not, doing something which was phenomenal, out of box, and going even beyond the university. He did a great job. So we are very proud of you, Bhupesh. Keep doing it, inspiring the younger generation.
Thank all you. Your blessings from the day one. I still remember you introduced me to Dr. Abul Kamalam. You gave me some insights and you have been mentoring. I am so indebted to you, sir. So Dr. Rajul, over to you. Now we have rolled out this outcome-based education with Big Bang, and we really hope that this can really transform the entire education landscape. You are heading one of the India's largest technological university, 450,000 students. Career is in your hand, right? But what we are observing, talking to a lot of faculty members, they feel overburdened, they feel burned out. They're already overloaded with a lot of admin work, they're overloaded with compliance work. And slowly and gradually, not in university, but across the country, we spoke to a lot of people. This whole thing has become tick the box activity. It has become like a ritual, paper ritual kind of stuff. And I think most of us, we feel conscious and anxious that it should not really go back to the same old stuff. New wine, new bottle, but the old wine, and we'll not really see a needle moving in the right direction. What are your thoughts? What kind of steps you're taking? What is your experience? How we can really empower faculty members? How we can really empower student alike? And can we really use AI or digital technology or any other thoughts? What are your thoughts? This open-ended question, ma'am, to you.
Thank you, Bhupesh, and thank you, Sharmaji, and all the rest of the panelists. I'll bring another element to this whole discussion. Very good discussion, and started with PB Sharma sir in terms of outcomes. Now with NEP, let me briefly give you a little bit about what we have done at GTU in terms of NEP. We are a large university spread over, we are affiliating, so it is spread over the state, and therefore the issues and concerns and challenges are much different than location, geographically single campus university. But still, the whole idea here is again and again, as everyone has mentioned, it has to be outcomes based. It has to deliver skilled personnel at whatever level we are promising, may it be diploma or a degree or a master's or even a researcher with a PhD, the kind of skills that the industry wants to look at. And therefore, that task becomes, if we get constrained by how to handle faculty, usko FDP karo, ye karo, usse pehle humne ye students ko पूरा एक डायनामिक फ्लेक्सिबल सिस्टम हमने दे दिया है in which they can pick and choose. So the variety of learning experiences, not just the subjects, the learning experiences, it is in terms of projects, it is in terms of, just yesterday, my academic council has taken a very important decision in including self-learning credits. तो ये एक बहुत बड़ा अपील है कि आप सेल्फ लर्निंग को भी क्रेडिट्स देंगे, तो हमारी एक जिम्मेदारी और बढ़ती है कि ये सेल्फ लर्निंग में आउटकम्स नंबर 1 should be ensured, the quality of outcomes should be ensured, and therefore we need to have some very good mechanisms to measure them.
Right.
The student, on the other hand, should not feel overawed that okay, so much choice is there. We have given a very large electives basket. We have given very, very large multidisciplinary open electives baskets, which are available across disciplines. We are offering minors over 4 semesters. There is an internship also which is open to all students. ऐसा नहीं है कि आप ये डोमेन में हैं, आप इस इंडस्ट्री में जाएंगे. तो we are bringing in a lot of multidisciplinary experiences, and therefore the student की choice हम ज्यादा दे रहे हैं, मगर उसके साथ साथ हमें उसको assess, feedback mechanism, वो feedback भी उसको जाना चाहिए, भाई आपका ये इस तरह से हो रहा है, and at the same time we have to look at how the faculty will be able to handle it. So bringing in a lot of nuances in terms of experiential, in terms of skill-based learning that we are bringing to the students, we are also therefore now very deeply looking at bringing in AI in all our internal systems, not just the teaching learning. Teaching learning में तो चाहिए ही चाहिए, मगर internally भी हमको ये trends, कहाँ पे हमें focus करना है, कहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है. As I said, we are spread over the state and dealing with something like a dynamic population of 3.5 to 4 lakh students. And if we don't, we bring in these opportunities, we give them all these platforms, maybe MOOCs, maybe project-based, maybe absolutely hands-on within the industry itself. But what is the mechanism that ensures कि ये डाइल्यूट नहीं होता है, नंबर 1. दूसरा, उसको एक फॉल्स प्रॉमिस नहीं मिल रहा है कि भाई मैं तो ठीक बात पे जा रहा हूँ, इंडस्ट्री बोल रही है कि भाई ये तो ये ITI लेवल का है या डिप्लोमा लेवल का है, आप तो बोल रहे हैं आपके पास मास्टर्स की डिग्री. तो ये सारे क्वेश्चंस जो है वो हमें इंटरनल हमारे मैकेनिज्म में डाल रहे हैं. सो वंस अगेन नेचुरली AI बेस्ड ही उसको करना पड़ता है. दिस इज जस्ट नॉट पॉसिबल manually. And that is where we have also started about every domain, every faculty has to be trained in AI, at least how to use it. And therefore, these tools become really, really very important to us now that we have opened up. दूसरा हमारा जो ये चैलेंज है जो AI ही सॉल्व कर सकता है, every student is given the flexibility to choose, pick and choose. We are also giving them the flexibility of timing. कि भाई आपको ये सेमेस्टर, we are not going to say anyone आप ये इसमें फेल हुए हैं, आप यहाँ पे रुक जाएंगे. वो आगे जाएंगे मगर उसको क्लियर करना है. So even the exam systems, the current systems will not be able to handle this kind of customized pathways of learning as well as assessing, and at the same time ensuring that there is no dilution. And so that is where all the accountability, all the measurement, all the एक certificate, हमारे सारे students are now on the ABC. We have put in all our mark sheets, all our certificates are on the DigiLocker. So what happens is, आप student को तो कहीं transcript लेने भी नहीं आना है, उसको सिर्फ share करना है, किसी भी university में जाना है, कोई भी industry across the globe. And therefore, what GTU puts in becomes the sole responsibility of GTU. Every faculty that gives out a certificate or the credits that are going out in the name of GTU have to be authenticated, have to be world standard. So, as very rightly mentioned, if you are looking at Viksit Bharat at 2047, if you are looking at being Vishwaguru, we really, really need to open up all the pathways, handhold the students to really go out and learn. उसको उसकी पेस भी हमें देनी है, opportunities भी देनी है, और उसके साथ साथ हमें ये पूरे फ्रेमवर्क बैकएंड में make life easier for the student, make life easier for the faculty, so that the ultimate outcome is something that every Indian is visualizing, is aspiring to reach. And we are thankful, Bhupesh ji, आपने आपका demo भी दिया था, and there is a lot of data sets which you can always come back and do, but very much needed, and we need to have our own indigenous systems which will help us take the students as well as the faculty towards assessment, towards feedback mechanism on that assessment, so that at every point of time there is curated learning that is happening. These are my first thoughts on it. Thank you.
No, wonderful, wonderful. I'm really amazed that yes, you have created a wonderful framework, created the grand vision, but not only vision, you have created a strong, robust framework. How do we really implement and see the outcomes? And you rightly said that yes, examination pattern need to really change. We need to bring personalization, and personalization, the key thing is we need to really collect the data. And as a human being, when we are dealing with hundreds and thousands of students, our brain is incapable of really handling the data of more than 10 or 20 students. And that is where we need digital systems. We need AI to really get the actionable insights so that we can really bring true personalization. And examination reform is very much important, and I am a great advocate of that. I always say jokingly that the Indian education system is cursed with poor quality of examination. Most of the questions we ask in our examination is अकबर का बाप कौन था? Who was the father of Akbar?
Rote learning or
Yes.
predictive, it's very predictable. यही क्वेश्चन
Yeah.
आएगा. अगर एनालिसिस भी है तो मुझे मालूम है ये एनालिसिस का भी मैं रट्टा मार सकता हूँ.
Right.
अभी तक हम कहते रहे कि हम नहीं बदलेंगे, लेकिन आने वाले समय में हमको बदलना है. सही
Right.
माने में आप हैरान होंगे सुनकर के, जब मैं बर्मिंघम यूनिवर्सिटी मास्टर डिग्री कर रहा था तो टीचर्स ने सारे सवाल सैकड़ों जो उन्होंने बनाए थे वो सवाल हमको दिए, और उनके आंसर्स भी एक दिन लगा दिए कि अगर आप नहीं कर पाते हो तो ये आंसर्स हैं. हम बड़े खुश हुए, हमने कहा मजा आ गया, अब तो इसी में से कुछ ना कुछ आएगा. जब एग्जाम में गए तो हैरान हो गए, एक भी सवाल उसमें से नहीं था, लेकिन अगर उन सवालों को ठीक से समझ लिया तो आप नए सवालों का जवाब दे सकते थे. सो द आइडिया वाज रियली नॉट टू हाइड फ्रॉम यू the resources, but to make you capable of utilizing those resources, to ask your mind, how do I start and solve this problem? और आपको खुशी होगी सुन करके कि मैंने तो 100 में से 100 नंबर लिए सभी सब्जेक्ट में और वहाँ का टॉपर बन गया. तो लेकिन थोड़ी मेहनत तो करनी पड़ी. मुझे रात को 9-10 बजे 11 बजे रात तक पढ़ना पड़ता था. जब बाकी बच्चे डांस वांस करने चले जाते थे, कहते इवनिंग में तो हम पढ़ेंगे नहीं, मस्ती करेंगे. हमने कहा नहीं, हम पढ़ने आए, इंडिया से आए हैं. हमारे यहाँ तो हम लोग पढ़ते हैं शाम को. विदेशों में कोई शाम को नहीं पढ़ता, कोई घर पे होमवर्क नहीं करता, सारा होमवर्क वहीं होता है इंस्टीट्यूशन के अंदर. तो ये सारी चीजें अब धीरे धीरे हमें बदलनी होगी हमारे अपने सिस्टम में भी. वी हैव टू ब्रिंग लॉट ऑफ ओपननेस, and we have to involve our students also as far as possible, both within the classroom as well as outside, to enhancing our learning outcomes as well as our project-based learning, collaborative learning, team learning, even learning from the students. मैंने कहा कि टीचर्स को स्टूडेंट से सीखना चाहिए. सारे टीचर लड़ने आ गए मेरे पास, कहते जी आपने हमारी बेइज्जती करा दी, हम अपना सिर मुड़वा लेंगे, लेकिन बच्चों से क्या सीखना हमको. मैंने कहा नहीं, देखो हम तो अपने ग्रैंडसन से भी सीखने तैयार हैं. आज गुरु पूर्णिमा थी, मैंने उसका फोन आया, दादा आपके चरणों में प्रणाम. मैंने कहा भैया मैं तेरे को भी नमस्ते कर रहा हूँ, बिकॉज लॉट ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी एंड AI आई लर्न फ्रॉम यू, यू आर माई गुरु. सो टाइम हैज कम वेयर वी हैव टू रियली चेंज. हमें बदलना होगा, और मैं समझता हूँ इस बदलाव के लिए ये पैनल डिस्कशन बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट है. हाउ टू टीच, हाउ टू असेस, एंड हाउ टू रियली एंश्योर दैट वी आर एबल टू प्रोड्यूस व्हाट इज रिक्वायर्ड. थैंक यू सो मच. मैं बीच में भाग जाऊंगा, बुरा मत मानना, मुझे कहीं जाना है, बट तक बैठा हूँ, सुनूंगा आपकी बातों को.
No, we are blessed that you are with us.
So one more point in continuation to what Sharma ji was mentioning, and I thought that because of the paucity of time, maybe someone, there is also a very important aspect of student attendance.
Right.
You do not have to have student attendance in the classroom, within the four walls of the classroom or the laboratory. How to assess them, give them credits, is what outcomes-based education is about. It is not about 75. मैं कहती हूँ, मैं faculty को कहती हूँ, आप 100% attendance बोल दीजिए ना. I need 100% attendance. वो कहाँ पे है? उसको मेजर कैसे करना है, तब जाके आपको आउटकम मिलेंगे. सो वी आर वर्किंग, वी आर
Very
कमिंग
true.
आउट विद अ वेरी लूज पॉलिसी आल्सो, very broad frame policy on how to count attendance.
Right.
That will help us to students to understand कि मेरा ये outcome ये attendance को handle कर देगा, और ये outcomes को हम कैसे assess करेंगे, उसको credits देंगे, वो हम faculty को train कर रहे हैं.
Very true. Very true. Such a welcome move that you're not just trying to really put them into box with attendance and trying to really change them. If they're doing some internship outside, if they're learning outside, why to really lock them? And sometimes some faculties we also need to realize that some faculties are also boring. They're not really just repeating the PPT, teaching with the PPT. That is certainly a wastage of time. And some now the kids are smart, but that's a wonderful move from you. Dr. Saili, over to you, since we were talking about challenges, right, and we're going on multiple dimensions. I would like to really ask you on the ground level, what kind of challenges you're facing in terms of really rolling out this outcome-based education, or any other point which you would like to really add?
I think very good afternoon to everyone. Thank you so much for inviting here and sharing few thoughts. Actually, this is nothing but it's a learning platform for me to learn from all my colleagues. Yes, we are talking about outcome-based education, since actually the basic concept education is that how can we make everyone really a good human being along with the skills required to survive
Right.
in individual and of course the professional life. And when we talk about this, I think the role of education really plays an important role in terms of developing the mindset. And a very beautiful picture I've seen that education cannot fit for everyone. So that, and then how can we really look at it? And so while doing this picture comes always in front of me because I'm in the system and I'm making one program fit to all the students who are sitting in my classroom of 60 students. So how can I really make them more employable, competent, and of course capable? So when we look at it, I think the role is how can we focus more on the pedagogical part, which is very important. And now in the context of technology, because we know it, everyone talks about it. Yes, India is becoming the organization. And while saying this, I think we need to focus on how we can strengthen them with the technology and processes.
Right.
Our education system, what I have seen is that we are not able to create the people who can really acceptable easily by the industry. So if you go and attend any industry discussion, they always talk about what we look at and what you give us, there is a difference. You know, it's an age old, we can say that the discussions going on. So when we look at that, the opportunities are increasing, we need to stop them here. Trump is changing his policies at international level. UK is thinking something different. Germany is saying that how can we create an opportunity for the people to come. Dubai is saying that why don't you invest only 23 lakhs rupees and get the golden visa. Look at the information kind of thing which is happening in front of all our kids, professionals and everyone. So how education can really control that brain drain which is happening. I'm so happy when Dr. Sharma sir was saying, and I was actually looking for his particular thought that how that assessment is happening. So when we are talking about assessment is a final thing which we really measure for the performance of, rather than student, I feel that it's a teacher's performance assessment in class. If my student, and I think in today's world, we need to really focus on how because see, who is my vice chancellor, right? And what is director role or what is the role of dean? But if you look at it today, we have so many universities having vice chancellor, having that capacity, right? So the accessibility is increased, right? Education is playing important role in the thing. And then unless and until, if I look at all of them as my really a co-colleague, then how can I improve my the performance in the context of outcome. I'm talking about learning, pedagogy, quality assurance, and of course, word of mouth. Why should student come to GTU, or why should student comes to DYPU, or why should student come to Chitkara when everyone is available on online, right? So all things are available. Khan Academy is available. But still, when I look at Dr. Sharma, when I look at both the Sharmas, PB Sharma and Sandhi Sharma, I feel that I should talk to them. I should sort out my issues, right? It means that the person who wants to learn comes with the paper and pen and would like to take the notes. So and that's the outcome I think we need to focus on. And while having this, right, he said very nicely that all the open book examination along with question and answer is given, but still student is able to apply it to the problems which are coming in a new way. I think we need to change our game plan in terms of setting up the processes, setting up the use of technology, right? Having competent faculty member who can address the technology and use the technology. Look at the challenge, the Dehriya sir, you will find if you go and visit any one of them, not VCs I'm talking about. Actually, VCs are more compatible with the technology than the faculty members. I've seen that.
Right.
Faculty comes, they just look at each other, right? So it means that the first responsibility of our education system is the faculty members. If my student is not, and therefore I think we need to create that kind of the workforce which can really contribute to this changes which are happening. We're talking about, sir said very nicely that the beyond NEP, he has uttered these words, right? So beyond NEP is what? Go and ask in our classrooms and ask our faculty members how many of them are able to understand it. Are we going to talk? Are we able to really understand what NEP is and what Dr. Sharma sir is asking the question? How can it differ? What new things? What available? See, we need teacher entrepreneurs, right? I'm so sorry using this entrepreneurship, but then the kind of progressive proactiveness if the teacher doesn't have, I think then the system will not. Then many kind of companies will come like Coursera, NetTech Partners, and IBM, and TCS, and SAS, SAP, Assessfy, right? But unless and until we utilize it, and unless and until we change our DNA to accept the adaptability or flexibility to the technology, it won't be possible. My teacher, my student, my faculty, if I really want them to grow, then the first is who is my teacher, what capacity he has, how much time, how much investment we are doing in them, right from payment to the scales to why are we focusing ourselves only on certain parameters like CAS, then only, why can't we open up? Why can't we come out with the innovation where they can be really contributing? Why can't we judge them on their competencies? I think, Dehriya sir, your question, I feel like see, all this should be automatically, it should come. You don't need to prove yourself that you are doing great, right? If the students are coming in campus in numbers and they want to attend Dr. PB Sharma sirs, and that was the litmus test in our days of school, that if teacher is teaching biology or a botany, and at that time if students are standing outside the classroom and taking the note, it means that the teacher is the best, right? Today we are talking about something else. I think we really need to change our the perspectives and the approaches, and then we can really focus on outcome-based education. And I feel it's a simple thing. If the student is doing great and able to grab the job in his hand, it means that the teacher has done a fantastic job, and we do not need to have any accreditation. Those are the parameters. I'm not saying don't take it wrong, but what I'm saying that it will come automatically. Right. And then on this day, I think we really need to question ourselves as an educationist or the teachers in the classroom, that how we can make it. We are doing so much investment, right? But still, Einstein was trying to meet Rabindranath Tagore to figure it out what this universe is. I think that's the quest which we need to create in the minds of all the stakeholders. including faculty, including VCs, including management or president and chancellor of the universities. I think that ecosystem is required to be created. Then we can really talk about outbase, and then automatically things will fall in place. Then you can say that, okay, fine, we need processes, we need frameworks, we need technology, we need infrastructure. That will come later. But what about our mindset to implement? I think that's what I wanted to share it. Thank you so much.
No, you have actually touched upon very fundamental point that yes, bike without a rider is of no use, right? So if faculties are not inspired, if faculties are not empowered, if they don't change the mindset, no amount of technology, no amount of policy will really work. And I always say with my team as well that any vision is as good or as bad as daydream until unless we don't have a very strong operating model. And the most important part of the operating model is people. In academia, it is a teacher, right? And followed by process and technology.
Absolutely.
Right? Otherwise, if they are not enlightened, nothing will really work.
The first comes people.
एक छोटा सा निवेदन कर दूं. Going beyond NEP, one small suggestion I have for the panel. We are looking at the learning outcome. We are looking at whether they have learned what we taught, whether they have done justice to the curriculum and so on. Our entire examination and assessment is based on that. But from maybe in the final year, starting from the 7th semester, we could look at how ready they are, how future ready they are, how industry ready they are. And therefore, in our assessment, if we can bring in an element of assessing them for the workplace, for the job market, for the self-employment, for their becoming an entrepreneur or rolling out a startup or innovation, then I think a great job will be done. We would also be able to assess how many of them are perhaps more interested, going deeper into the subject, and therefore how many of them are research-oriented in their approach, and we would be able to channelize and mentor them for their future much better. So in our assessment and outcome focus, we need to bring in these newer elements now. That's the time has come. And AI can help you in a big way to automate the process as well as to make your teachers capable of assessing the capability of their students and also at the same time efficacy of our curriculum to prepare the industry ready and future ready workforce. So thank you so much indeed. I'll be running away after this point, and thank you for the great
thank you sir, thank you so much for joining.
Such a great pleasure. Thank you, sir. Thank
you so much, sir. So, Dr. Rajul, I think you also have a hard stop at 3 o'clock. And I extend a very warm welcome to Dr. Babu. Please switch on your video. So since Dr. Rajul has to really leave, Dr. Rajul, if you can really share your few comments before you leave, and then we'll carry our discussion forward.
True. So exactly on the lines of NEP and on the outcomes-based education that every stakeholder has to look at, we need to open up, make things more dynamic, more flexible, more student-oriented rather than the constraints that the campuses and the faculties have. And at the same time, the experience has to be such that the student has all the pathways, is ensured to travel that pathway till the time that they'll end up in the industry with the required skills that we all aim and aspire to give them. And there is a lot of the beautiful part of it is that I have not seen faculty who are deterred by the task. I have not seen students who, when I say that it is not compulsory for you to attend class here, but do some project, that they have changed me on that. So there is hope. There is a lot of aspiration. Everybody knows that we have to work hard, and everybody knows that we should be assessed, but we have to do it smartly, and we have to do it in a way that leads us on to the outcomes that the industry and the globe expects us to deliver. And I think that AI is the solution.
Wonderful. No, I have personally seen how you have empowered your faculty members. I interacted with over 100 faculties during the workshop. And I see even the young faculties were so enlightened and they were so motivated. They wanted to really bring change. And I think that is a foundation that, yes, if we really empower them, if we really lead them, then the 90% of the job is done, right? And they can really bring the transformation. Otherwise, it becomes a massive push effort, which eventually is bound to fail. Then it just becomes a paper ritual.
Tick
Thank you.
mark.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining, Dr. Rachel. Right. And looking forward to really welcome you in some other time. Thank you so much. So, Dr. Babu, now since you're also a part of accreditation committee, now I would like to hear you keep on interacting with hundreds of universities across the country, and you may be aware about what are the ground realities, what are the ground level challenges in terms of really truly implementing this learning outcome based education, or measuring the learning outcome in true sense. What are the challenges and what are the possible solutions where digital technologies and AI can really help? Over to you, sir. You're on mute, sir. You have to unmute.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Well, good afternoon, and thank you, Bhupesh, and for this wonderful opportunity. And I also thank my predecessor, Vice Chancellors, who spoke very well on the topic, and the summary might be following. So now, in the context, I would say outcome-based education is driven by competencies. The competencies are nothing but the professional competencies which we are talking about. These are the expected level of professional competencies we expect the student to demonstrate. This is what we really have. This is what we call it as outcomes. These outcomes for professional courses are well defined by the apex bodies. And in terms of other courses, there are several multidisciplinary courses, right? If you talk about science courses and schooling level or other courses, these outcomes are written and rewritten by the, again, apex bodies. Some of them are not there, still you can generate those outcomes. Now, my strong feeling goes here, as you rightly coined it, compliance to competence. Compliance to competence, we would move only when we have a strong curriculum in place. This curriculum plays a wonderful role, so which we are ignorant of it. So many other places which when I discuss with the faculty, there are no clue on curriculum design, how it is being done, why it is being done, how, right, a faculty need to align himself or herself into the activities. When I don't know what I am teaching, and I don't know why I am teaching, and that challenge remains. So the entire focus when we thought at national level is affiliated system which is causing the problem, then subsequently there is a very boost has been given, right, to all educations, to all higher educational institutions to become autonomous, right? So there are many autonomous institutions emerged in the midst of 2005 onwards. There are a lot many institutions which became autonomous. There, when I was working at my earlier institution, which probably you might be knowing it, so BMS College of Engineering, Bangalore, right? One of the prominent institutions, is the first private engineering college in the country. So where we started this, then we became autonomous in 2007. We started reeling out, understanding what's importance, how would we derive the curriculum, right? So we started engrossing into curriculum design. Even till today, I'm in an active mode. How do I really enhance the curricular inputs, curriculum design? So this curriculum design is a job of subject matter experts of the faculty of particular course, and everything is been defined. Today, National Board of Accreditation talks about the accreditation process. The prime important areas, three of them: outcome-based curriculum, outcome-based teaching learning. As P.B. Sharma sir said, I would also redefine it, right? Outcome-based learning and teaching. It's not teaching learning, learning and teaching, then gets into outcome-based education. So every aspect is measured through an outcome. These outcomes, right, visionarily, so if you look into, if you have a program, so the program do have what is called as program educational objectives. What we have to have, see why this program has been, genesis of this program has been done, why this program, what does it need, how, where it is going to cater, which kind of industry, who are going to study, and what is the levels where they are getting into this particular program. Everything will be defined through these POs. Then subsequently, when we have these POs as a base of it, the program curriculum can be generated if and only if what these specific competencies for a graduate to be in this particular program. So these need to be actually articulated. Based on this articulation, you have to link and generate the curriculum to make your students more competent and then move on, right? This curriculum alone, the teaching side, we do it, but ritually, but it's not schooling, so it's a higher education. Then when we talk about higher education, there are significant stakeholders come into play. It's not the teachers alone can do this. They can do, they are capable of doing. I'm not undermining anybody's capabilities here, but at the same time, without collaboration, coherence, and the industry support, we will not be able to really understand where we are going to go and place them. Right? Ultimately, you do 4 years, they stay with you, students, 40 years and beyond, they go stay, serve industry or society or many other realms of career paths. So now when I am saying this, so compliance to competence, you reach through a proper, well-designed, well-structured curriculum that is completely outcome-based, and the curriculum, which is the learning processes, teaching learning processes, should be outcome-based, and as well the assessments. So now when we are moving into that particular mind today, the bane is what is called as complete rote learning, which is not going from our institutions, right? Major this rote learning, no matter we talk about outcome-based education, no matter we talk about, this is only just for a sake of complainting, just you, Bhupesh sir, you have really mentioned, just tick them, check boss. So you tick, I have complained. Tick complied is no way complied. So we see the reality when the ground, they don't know what it is. What is that they're making the tick boxes, check boxes? They don't understand why they are doing from a particular course to program, how it is being mapped, what student is supposed to learn, how student, what you are assessing. All these are missing dimensions. It's a rote learning. So as from Calgutias University, so which we have started waging war on rote learning. So that's the thing which we have been doing very rigorously. We have started our own active learning system under the blessings and aegis of Nanyang Technological University, Singapore. So we have been trained by them, and we do a different pedagogical journey. So these pedagogies are going to help us, and we have been seeing a significant difference. The attendance in the classrooms have been really gone into very high levels, right? Last 1 year, we could see the learning pedagogy changed, and the way we interact with the student, the way we handle a class is completely redefined. So I don't think so I will be able to explain entire processes over here, but the thing is, I wish that I welcome all of you to come and see what we do here. So the classroom is completely digital. The classroom is built with AI. It talks with AI, and students are very active. Students, about 54 students in a class with 9 cohorts. So 6 students are in a group, right? So in a class, wherein the teacher uses significantly the technology to move into, and driven this entire, the 1 hour class will be driven through activities. So that makes that engagement. See, the passive learning to transforming them to active learning. So the key point is engagement. So now passive learning, the student is not connected. So here, active learning, the student is connected. Passive learning, the mobile is a play distraction for them. So in active learning, mobile is a tool to learn. So we converted this entire transformational journey. So at Calgutias University, this is I think I should say this is one of the biggest activity which we have taken, which we name it as very profoundly G scale, right? Galgoti was student-centered learning ecosystem. Right?
Wonderful,
So this is
wonderful.
about
Congratulations to you.
Right. So under this ecosystem where the students also assess very systematically, then we actually where the assessment challenges comes into play. Typically, I would say that the kind of summative assessments, the students more focus, they don't focus on formative assessments. When the formative assessment is missing, their learning is missing. When their learning is missing, then they go into summative assessment for the sake of just writing some question and answer, get some marks. These marks are no meaningful unless until the student is engaged, engrossed, and really captured the skill, right? There are three learning activities typically, which you all know. I would like to say knowledge, skill, and attitude. So this knowledge, skill, and attitude becomes an integral part of outcome-based education. So if we are ignoring them, any one of them, probably will not be able to really achieve these things. So now, again, OBE is a kind of journey. So this keep on changing as the millennials too, they come into Gen Alpha, right? They are going to be Gen Alpha. So now, so Gen Z currently they are in. So now when the generation changes, their learning styles changes. The way the student perceive learning is changes. Then they are dynamically changing. But are we changing? The teaching fraternity is changing. The higher education is changing. So these things, NEP talks about also this holistic development. What is this holistic development? All these things are points I can really agree that we are doing as for the compliance sake. So how does holistic learning happens? How does a teacher and taught is connected in the classrooms? How does the learning journey really throws? What kind of assessments you do? When we talk about this, when we moved into what is called as active learning paradigm, so now the assessments have become significant and lots of data we generate through active learning process in the classrooms. Every student will take part into the activity. We capture that. We also show that into the screen. We have about every classroom has big screens, about 5 digital screens, right? So everywhere. So there is nothing like that. It's a theater style. It's completely what is called as an ecosystem where student from anywhere can see what's happening. There is no like teacher position. Teacher can also move into the position table to table and talk to the students and embrace, right, what they are doing actually. So now what I would like to say is furthermore, the taxonomies which are also plays a significant role in grooming into outcome-based education. So typically we talk about, everybody knows there's Bloom's taxonomy, revised Bloom's taxonomy, which is going to be very important thing, but we stay put there. So we are ignorant of other taxonomies which need to be collaborated and these to be connected. So once these things are not happening, so we have all the Bloom's taxonomy levels, 6 levels we do have, and how do we are looking into what the kind of each course has certain COs and outcomes are course learning outcomes. So these course learning outcomes, we are also trying to see topic by topic or unit by unit or chapter by chapter. This is a holistically driven through where I'm saying entire course syllabi, based on entire course syllabi, you need to generate the course outcomes. These course outcomes are called as skills. And then these things need to be mapped with the graduate attributes, which are called as competencies. Through the skills, we are going to get these competencies, the kind of articulation matrix which we write between this knowledge skills and attitude towards the professional competencies will really is the game changer. But here what happens, I have seen many times, I usually visit lots of institutions in either way to learn from them. So in the process, I see just they tick something, check boxes, and they don't know why they have ticking it. This why is unless until this why is answered, we cannot
not going to bring.
say that. So we may say whatever, right? You may be very championing education, but in true sense, we are not.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Babu.
Now coming on to one more minute, I'll just close it up. So one more thing is skills, which are skills. So Bloom's talks about knowledge, right? The psychomotor skills, we have what is called as Simpson's psychomotor taxonomy, which we need to bring down. Then again, we move into other one, which is called as the affective domain, third domain.
Affective domain, yes.
Yeah, there is a taxonomy, which Krathwohl's taxonomy, which talks about how the affective domain works. Unless until you write a course outcome, which is embracing all these things, then we will not be able to meaningfully make a journey into outcome-based education. That's what the why is, lots of whys. So now what we are building is lower order thinking skills, which is lots to hearts, higher order thinking skills. So we need to move there, HOTS. But we are still at LOTS. We might say that HOTS, unless until you prove me that you are doing wonderfully this way, collaboration, right? And mapping it done in a perfect manner, then we cannot say that you are getting into higher order. But nonetheless, the rote learning and exam-centric approach of the students, they are getting into moving into. But they get into on the bench, and then they 6 months, 1 year on the bench, and they learn something at the industry's cost, then they move on to the journey. So why not we cut short that, we bring that skills over here, and with the industry support, we imbibe the skills, right? Infuse the skills into the student mindset, then definitely they'll become industry ready. The moment they pass out, they are like a hotcakes. So we have lots of other models also we are doing at Galgodias University. I would like to share whenever the opportunity comes in. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Babu. Thank you so much. You have really brought up a wonderful, amazing experiment which you're doing at a Galgotia. And you rightly said, yes, we need to define the outcome, and based on the outcome, what you want to really finally gain, what you want to really produce, and go and then re-engineer the curriculum, pedagogy, and everything, right? Those kind of stuff. And you rightly said, it's not only cognitive capability, we need to also really build their emotional competency with affective domain and psychomotive capabilities, right? Thank you so much. Dr. Sandhir, over to you. What are your thoughts, like how we can really use AI and digital technology to overcome a lot of challenges, which Dr. Babu has also highlighted? Because most of the people are actually measuring the learning outcome at the surface level. They are not going at a route at each question level or each project level or those kind of area. Over to you.
Bhupeshji, good afternoon, and all esteemed Vice Chancellors, happy Good Purnima. And this has been a great discussion, I must appreciate, and it's a great learning, listening all of esteemed Vice Chancellors. Bhupeshji, if you remember, I met you 6 to 7 years before in Mumbai in again one of the panel discussions, and we're meeting after a long time, but I appreciate your energy, I appreciate your motivation, inspiration to the cause of the discipline, especially AI. I mean, you're promoting AI and the digital learning right from the beginning. So all my compliments to you. So coming to your question, sir, that how AI can actually help this entire process of learning outcomes and measurements.
Right.
It's a very broad thing, sir. Actually, outcome. I mean, this is I'll just in the first 1 or 2 minutes, I would like to say something else about this.
Yeah, please.
So when we say outcome, that means we are talking about a learner. So let's try to understand. Today's learner is not the learner kind of a learner of the past. I mean, if I put it in another way, that the way my father was trained in his times in school and college, I'm not trained that way. And the way my son is being trained now, I was not trained that way. And maybe his son and daughter, will be trained in the universities and the schools in the coming 20 years or 30 years, they will also not be trained that way. And what I'm trying to focus and tell here, everybody, that the learners have changed. And outcome is a very old concept. I mean, we need an outcome of an education. This is a very old concept, right from the learner, which was of a different kind, and vis-a-vis the learner of present. Earlier, there was an instructional pedagogy to be was being used in the classroom. That means whatever teacher said, students used to buy that, students used to follow that. But today, it's more inquiry based. That means if you ask your students in the classroom just to sit down as a learner and listen the teacher quietly, probably that also not happening. Why? Because there's a lot of information stuff which is digitally available to them without even having a teacher in the classroom. So these are the two major things I think which are impacting the total OBE framework.
Very true.
One, the difference in the learner's characteristic, which we need to understand as an educationist. And also we need to understand when, I'll just put it in a very simple way. We all teach communication skills. We still teach English in our university system, given a fact that the student have learned English from last 20 years. From school time, he's learning English and we still teach English skills.
Right.
So whether, I have a question here, outcome has never been measured in his first 19 years. And all of a sudden in last 4 years, we want to measure his outcome and we want to match it with the competencies. I think there is something fundamentally wrong going on everywhere. So the concepts are there, processes are there. Honorable sir, Babu sir, very decently, he explained this entire process. This is a very wonderful thing. But there are certain questions in my mind. I'm always thinking that many a times I've seen the institution spending a lot of time on the skills which are already imparted to them in the last, they're in previous education, in their previous qualification. Why was not those things measured at that time? This is the one thing, sir. Second, when we talk about the outcomes, program outcomes specifically, I think it's now more a kind of from a learner's perspective, it's a promise. If I am an institution and I say that you come and you will do X program with me, let's say an MBA or let's say BTech or let's say MSc nursing or allied healthcare or something. Tomorrow, I see that day coming after 5 years, a student will come to me and say, Dr. Sandhir, what do you promise that you will make me learn? Today, nobody is asking me. But 5 years, 10 years down the line, people will come to me and say that on a whiteboard, you have written program outcomes. There are 12 program outcomes you have mentioned, maybe to meet some requirement of an accreditation agency or some grading agency. But I'm capable of managing communication skill. How would you make me capable of civic engagement? I've not done anything for the society so far. I'm taking admission in masters. I want to learn. How will you increase that? Increase my competence in engaging with the civic needs. So I also think that the program outcomes are largely the promises that we will have to make in future as an institution, or presently we are making to a student that, look, if you do a program, these are the 10 competencies I'll make you capable of. That's another thing I think this is coming up. Dynamics from a teacher standpoint is also changing very fast, very fast. Teacher is there, teacher is not there. I think to a new learner, new age learner, it's okay. Coursera will do the things, edX will do the things. Swayam, we have created. If I'm not there, my course is there. You listen me on a video, and that is sorted. And probably on a white paper, when I do mapping of my course outcomes with the program outcomes, and I map my the questions given in an assessment instrument. That may go wrong, but with the help of AI, they will tell me that whether you have achieved 65% of competency or 70% of competency or not. Technology is helping me. So I'm required or I'm not required. I think it doesn't make a sense to a learner because technology is helping him, by the way. And what the best thing has happened now is that with the advent of AI, I've gone through Coursera courses. I'll not say about the content or the way it is conducted. It was more of a personalized experience. So whenever a technology is brought into teaching learning, it's more of a personalized experience that if I don't want to go further, I will not go further. Nothing is saying that yesterday was Monday, it was unit 1, today is Tuesday, it's unit 2.
Right.
So Tuesday can also be unit 1.
Mm.
So with all these changes, quick changes happening all around, I think the entire dimensions of outcome-based education will also change, or I think it's changing also. Another important thing is, when I go to a class as a teacher, I generally try to see what is the diversity of learners.
Mm.
Now, there is a divide. We are in a country where there is a divide of different kinds. Still, somebody might not have a technology access. There is a digital divide still. So somebody might not have that understanding of dealing with the technology. Somebody is willing, somebody is not willing. Somebody is from a rural setup, somebody is from an urban setup. So there is a lot of diversity in the class as a learner. So as Babu sir said, lots and
Thoughts.
hots. It's a big challenge. It's a
Yes.
very big challenge. I mean, how would you average out the class and start teaching? It's a big challenge for a human mind. Thanks to technology, Bhupesh ji, and thanks to that AI, they still have that capability to standardize everything because of the personalized learning experience with everyone. That means today at 11 o'clock, I can be at level 2, and my friend can be at level 2 in the evening at 7 p.m. There is no problem. But if you ask me to do it manually, that in 6 hours, I will change somebody's level from X to Y, I think it's difficult. So hats off to technology, which is now changing the entire landscape of teaching learning. Assessments was also discussed. Now, this is again a very interesting thing. Many a times I've seen the teachers are very happy when they finish with the course. They forget the assessment. They forget that the assessment is more serious activities, is a very, very serious activity than the complete teaching in a classroom. And I also sometimes notice that course handouts, once prepared, are forgotten.
For ages.
So before the start of the class, course handout is made. Class started. Where is the course handout? I don't know. Where I have reached, I don't know. That is also something which needs to be carefully looked at. And I think as a teacher, my biggest instrument, my biggest weapon is my course handout, which I have prepared. And I think all my seniors, my vice chancellors will agree with the fact that my course handout should remain close to my heart when I'm in the classroom as a teacher. Why? Because it gives me direction day by day, moment by moment, to a level that my course outcome 1 is related to unit 1 of the syllabus. And when I have to write a question for unit 1 and to assess the course outcome 1, I have to write a question considering Bloom's taxonomy and the level of the students in the classroom, so that later on, when I get the measurement assessment, I could actually see competency level measurement, whether the students could achieve those things or not. I forget all those things. What happens when I use technology? As you said, this technology helps me, it gives me that kind of leverage to think and assess at least that what I have done. So assessment is again a very, very important thing. And one more important thing, which I think I should definitely put across, curriculum was also discussed by Sir. A lot of things in any institution will start from the strategic intent. I heard my friend saying that if you want to do research, go to MIT, otherwise cross the river and go to Harvard and learn how to make money. So when we build an institution, I think our strategic intent will decide what do we want to achieve and what do we want to promise to our learners. And technology can help achieve that strategic intent as an institution, and different and in many ways.
Very true.
So I think that strategic plan document and that vision, mission, punchline that we write for an institution, all the programs, their outcomes are drawn from that strategic intent. My only worry is if we keep designing everything and keep forgetting everything, and at the end of the day, when some accreditation is to happen and we start looking at the papers and try to see whether things are in order, things won't happen. Things will not be in order. Then you know what happens. Of course, all of us know what happens. So there, the technology can help at all the levels, streamlining everything right from the strategic intent, deciding that which program is to run, what can be the outcomes, how those outcomes will be measured, how the faculty will be trained, how the learners will be assisted in achieving those outcomes, and then finally they are succeeded. We also feel happy when our learners achieve. So I think it's a complicated thing, and a lot of things are happening, changing very fast. Technology is the only
Very dynamic.
to adopt. I mean, that's a short thing. Maybe.
No, thank you so much. Thank you so much. You really added a lot of value, and you highlighted very few pertinent problems that yes, we are still trying to really measure something which should have been measured at a high school level, and perhaps there could be reason that we have not gone in depth. We were teaching too much of this stuff even in engineering college, and still we are trying to really ask questions which is kind of akbar ka baap kaun tha kind of question. We are not still moving on to project based learning.
Yeah.
Because knowledge-based examinations has completely lost relevance. Most of the digital examinations are being written by the ChatGPT. So the digital neurons are learning, not biological neurons. So most of the assessments across the globe has gone to they are gone to the graveyard, right? So it is just formality, it is useless. And I think we need to really move towards project-based kind of a learning and go back again, pen and paper kind of examination. So a lot of things are really changing drastically. So Dr. Madhulika, over to you. What are your thoughts? I don't have any specific questions. So if you would like to really enlighten us with your thoughts, and then I'll come back to you, Professor Harikiran.
Thank you, Bhupesh. Long time again catching up with you. But my journey towards the understanding of learning outcomes have been a little different in the sense I would sort of agree with Professor Sharma that when we were students and when we became initially teachers, we were given a syllabi and we were sort of focusing more on teaching. When I, however, shifted to Indira Gandhi National Open University way back in '88, and in a sense, I've been lucky that about 30 years of my academic experience has been spent in open distance learning. So when I first came, we were told that in order to develop the curriculum, you first have to define the course learning outcomes, without which, and you cannot decide that in isolation. I was a professor of management there. You need to talk to the industry and identify, for example, if you're doing a course on sales management, invite those people in your course team meetings, understand what is it that they require, and then develop your learning up. So in a way, we were lucky. We were lucky that way back in '88, we had started talking in terms of learning outcome. That's something that the person will have to actually perform when he's on the job. So incorporating all of this, then having spent about 23 years at IGNOU, I went to the Commonwealth of Learning, which is stationed at Vancouver. I was a higher education specialist, and we tried to do similar work in online and open distance education for all of Commonwealth, which is 53 countries spread across Africa, Caribbean, Asia, and so on. Now that was great learning, that not only do you get your intent of what to put in a curriculum by talking to people who will be using these competencies. Therefore, engage with the people who will be using the competencies of your learners. And how are these competencies changing? I still remember one of my seniors at the IIT Roorkee saying, we are today preparing learners for a world which does not exist today. Because in 4 to 5 years time, the world will change. So as a management graduate person, you and me as an engineering person, we are preparing learners. But the understanding is if we constantly keep on engaging with people who are the users of these competencies, this could be the society in terms of civic systems, public ad and so on. It could be the industry and so on. So while we say the purpose of education is not to create only an employee.
Job seekers, yeah.
But we I mean, after all these, I mean, having spent 47 years in education now, higher education now, to my mind, if you look at the learning outcomes and so on, the way world is changing, you look at the World Education Forum's critical learning skills for the 21st century, the one single purpose across all programs for all education, this thing is to create a self-directed learner. We were talking about, content, material being available and so on. Today, content is not the king, because you have the world's best content available, in most cases free. The open education resources make resources available. Sometimes there are people who very cynically said education will take place not because of the teachers, but in spite of the teacher. And one of my predecessors was saying, whether I'm there or not, you can use my Swayam or NPTEL and keep on learning. The fact of the matter is, however, the teacher would always be important, because if you have this 23 billion resources available on 9 million sites, open sites, who would guide you through those? So the teacher does the work of the curator of guiding them through all of these. And in terms of learning outcomes, when you sit down and I really like the title of your topic today, Beyond Compliance. I mean, looking at learning outcomes beyond compliance, it is not a tick box thing. If you actually use learning outcomes the way they are supposed to, that means designing the learning outcomes in relation to the world of work, relation to actual users of those competencies, come back and translate those competencies into the learning outcome, use the learning outcomes then to create your content, your curriculum, and what do I put in there? How do I, within that, test it while, I mean, all formative assessment to be tested. Therefore, your learning outcomes, if used properly, give you all the inputs for learning, for the curriculum design. They also give you inputs for creating both formative and summative assessment. So the outcomes which have been already measured to a certain extent during formative need not be repeated again. You can then use higher order or whatever. Now, where AI comes in, where I have, and which is why when ultimately after doing all of that 10 years of work abroad, and when I came back to the Usha Martin University, I joined them initially as a Pro Vice Chancellor. This was 2017. NEP only came in 2020. We started getting a bit of the IGNOU experience and the Wawasan Open University experience, getting our course coordinators to do learning outcomes in 2017 itself. So we've been following all of that, using that to create their assessments and so on. And therefore, even when you develop a question bank, you should have question banks related to outcome 1, outcome 2, outcome 3, outcome 4.
Very true.
Therefore, people there is a sort of a collective thinking, and we used to sit down as a group to sort of brainstorm and say, what questioning, what kind of activity? Could it be a mini project? Could it be a panel discussion that the students do? Could they look at the television the whole week and say which was the best creative in a JMC class? So is that the kind of activity which will? So it was fun. It was great fun, because it was. So my own understanding is that since the world is changing so much and the content is out there, we will not be with the student when he will be there in the world of work. So we should create a problem solver and a person who then knows where to get the information, create a self-directed learner, should be one outcome of all programs all through. So we try to build it in one way or the other. Where AI helps, where it has helped us at the Usha Martin University, is that it enables us to, through an analysis of the LMS activity of the learners, say where are the learners, getting caught, where are they staying, where is the problematic area? Is X learner spending more time on a numerical kind of activity while a work? So do I therefore create customized learning packages for them? Do I create differential exercises for them? So that is where it has helped, that when I do my formative assessment, it's in my own understanding is that AI enables us database informed decision making. So when you sit down to revise your curriculum, these are the reports you have. You also have reports of students' performance across various activities. So we get to know, are there some learners who are more apt, video-based learners? There are some which are more project-based kind of action learning and so on. So what is the kind of mix I have? And interesting things that we found out using some of AI applications, do these type of learners and learning diversities vary across program? Say, for example, in humanities, do you have different kind of preferences of learning tools as compared to engineering? Or so this is where AI helps you in becoming more informed, getting to know your learner much better, getting to know and analyzing their assessment. And all this learning analytics and assessment analytics has helped us a lot in trying to say what are the parts of curriculum that are not adding value to their this thing. Are project-based questions helping them develop their XYZ competencies better than simple text-based questions? So AI has been a good tool, and we need to learn a little bit more in the sense that
digital assistant. AI
yes,
is more of a digital assistant, digital brain
yes.
working 24/7.
Also, I think maybe people like you who've been in the field longer, in terms of predictive analytics is where we haven't really gone. But at the Usha Martin University, a lot of assessment analytics and all is coming in. We also do a dashboard analysis where as the students are going through the LMS or doing activities on the are they doing, I mean, one of this thing is when you give them a question or give them an assignment where everyone contributes and they're supposed to post, and then other students are supposed to post on somebody else's posting their comments. Are they learning from each other? And some of them are working students. So do they learn from each other? Do they learn better from each other's experiences than the content that we are
It's a collaborative social learning is happening. That's wonderful. No, I'm really glad that yes, you have really implemented those thoughts. I'll come back to you.
Yeah, instead of giving learning notes, we started posting content as per the learning outcome right in the very beginning. So the student comes in on the first day of the semester, the content, the basic content is there, and then additional content in the forms of relating them to or directing them to certain OER resources, digital resources, and we keep on posting. And some of the assessments we actually put on these additional resources posting so that we make sure the learners are. So there is a new video that has come up on Swayam Plus. Just indicate that and then make sure that at least a discussive or a panel discussion is held on that. And let the learners talk. The teacher takes a back seat and let them talk. Yeah.
Wonderful, Dr. Madhulika.
I also found that in this part of the world, I mean, this university is in Jharkhand. Most of my time I've spent in more metropolitan cities. I find that even if the learners know, they're very afraid of speaking out for the fear that if they don't come out well, people will. So I keep on. The first thing we drill into them that there are no stupid questions. They're only stupid answers. So please ask, please come out, please say. And if you can't say it in English, say it in Hindi. Use your local language, whatever, but talk. So share. And that is how you, and I'm very happy to say that from the time the students come in to the time they pass out, there is a whole world of difference. A very large part of my students come from the tribal regions. So some of them are first-time college goers in their whole community. So it's such a pleasure seeing them, evolve as learners. But if we can create the possibility of them being self-directed learners, active problem solvers, is what I think we would have achieved the learning outcomes. Thank you so much.
Wonderful, amazing, wonderful, amazing. So, Professor Harikiran, now we would like to really hear your closing thoughts. Right? How do we really actually roll out these technologies and AI and human-centric approaches to make this whole learning outcome-based journey not only measurement, but of course, resulting in improvement? That should be the final objective, and truly transform the entire education, and we can really produce the world-class learners, students, those who are ready for highly uncertain world AI-driven AI, where AI is likely to really eat most of the jobs which are their current jobs, maybe coding, maybe marketeer or digital marketing folks, right? So over to you.
At the outset, greetings to everyone. I'm very glad to be part of this illustrious panel comprising of all the think tanks leading India to the next dimension. In the very beginning, Dr. P.B. Sharma sir was there, and he talked about Mr. Bhupesh. Bhupesh sir, he said that you were always odd while you were in those times also while leading. You were never a part of the normal crowd. So I think to be number one, you have to be odd, and you've been spearheading this thing. Bhupesh sir, I would like to share that at Chitkara University, from when we were Chitkara Institute of Engineering and Technology, from day one, PBL was our focus, problem-based learning.
Wonderful.
From day one, we have been doing that. Having said that, it is said in the scriptures that Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, which means that knowledge and fact are infinite like Brahma. So today's innovations, if we call it as AI, are infinite, and they're the extension of the knowledge, and implications both negative and positive will depending on the way it's being used. We all now are living in GAFA world, the Google, Amazon, Facebook, Apple. They did not exist, I think, while we all were studying. Group of people,
Very true.
right? So we have evolved these jobs of evangelist or CEOs or something. They never existed. So we need to grow. We have grown, all of us, with this. We have to learn from the Gen Z next set. So I've been hearing to all my esteemed panelist colleagues out here. So I read a small write-up in the morning from New York Times. I'd like to quote one thing from that. After that, I'll give you 3 pointers.
Please,
So
please.
New York Times says, if you're a college student preparing for life in the AI world, you need to ask yourself, which classes will give me the skills that machines will not replicate, making me more distinctly human. This is by New York. Amazing thing. What a thought. So having said that, sir, I have an elaborated version of the 3 key challenges in using AI to improve and measure learning outcomes and assessments with examples relevant to the Indian university ecosystem. Yeah. Number 1, limited data infrastructure and integration. AI systems need large, consistent, and well-structured data to deliver accurate insights. However, for now, many Indian universities still rely on fragmented or paper-based systems for recording academic progress, attendance, assessments, and student engagement. For example, if a university uses separate platforms for exams, attendance, and LMS without integrating them, an AI tool cannot it cannot assess the student's learning trajectory, which is the focus. So this limits its ability to personalize learning or flag skills gaps effectively. Now, my second point is faculty digital readiness and adoption gaps. My predecessors, all the speakers, spoke about that faculty is the resource. I mean, nothing can replace a teacher. AI-generated learning analytics are only useful if faculty are able to interpret them and adapt teaching methods accordingly. But many educators are not yet trained in using these tools, leading to resistance or ineffective implementation. For example, an AI tool might identify that a group of students is struggling with data interpretation in a statistic course. But if the faculty isn't equipped to use this insight to redesign lessons or give targeted feedback, the outcome doesn't improve and hence the gap. It stays there. Now, third, very important, bias and lack of contextualization. AI systems often use data sets and algorithms trained in Western contexts. We all are aware of, which may not align with India's linguistic diversity, varied socioeconomic backgrounds, and cultural nuanced learning styles. For example, again, an AI-based writing assessment tool might penalize Indian students for non-native English phrasing, even when content quality is strong. He might be having the best of the thoughts, but if he's not able to, give it the way that he wants them to comprehend, it is futile. This leads to biased outcomes and reduces trust in AI-driven evaluations. So from my side, these challenges highlight the need for localized solutions, faculty capacity building, and robust digital infrastructure to truly unlock AI's potential in higher education. We all have to make India truly Bharat Tirtha, the great pilgrimage place of learning and humanity, in the words of Sorbet Rabindranath Tagore. The responsibility for this lies on us, on each one of us in education system, as we prepare Gen Z for the world. this is what I had to put forward as my thoughts on this forum.
Oh, thank you so much. Your thoughts were quite deep and enlightening, and you highlighted that yes, as I already said, that any grand vision, which is outcome-based education, is as good or as bad as a dream. If we don't have the operating model, strong operating model, and this operating model, that there are three pillars, which is people, teachers, process. We already have the process and the technology. You can't expect somebody to really fly from reach from Chennai to Delhi in 2 hours without taking a plane. He can't really ride a bike and reach over there. And that's where the digital infrastructure is very important, and you highlighted. And that's one of the fundamental problem and roadblock in rolling out the NEP. I see faculties struggling mapping COPO with hundreds of Excel sheets. They're teaching 10 courses and they're maybe managing like 500 Excel sheets, which is mind-boggling. So whatever the analysis they're doing is in the silo. The student management system is sitting somewhere else, LMS is sitting somewhere else, examination system is sitting else. It is like you divide your body, head is placed somewhere else, hand is somewhere else, and they're not talking. So your nerve system is not talking. So if brain has to take a decision, brain needs the information, and information should come from single body or it should be connected. And that's one of the fundamental issue which you have really highlighted. And we need to really empower faculty. We can't really keep on pushing because we realize that 2/3 of their time they actually spend on only accreditation, assessment, and all those kind of stuff. So my thank you so much. My colleague Purvesh is here. We discussed a lot about the
Before,
challenges, rollout stuff.
before
Purvesh
we
is going to really walk you. Yeah, please,
can I
please.
have one single comment?
Yeah, please,
In
please,
order
please.
for something to really become mainstream and become, part of our teaching learning system, there has to be a deep-seated belief in the system. A lot of teachers, you said beyond compliance, a lot of university systems themselves think that it is something that you have to do because NAC wants this wants that. They do not really have that abiding belief that learning outcomes are a way of designing your curriculum, way of creating a relevant assessment and completing the whole thing by taking a feedback to say which so if we do not as teachers, as practitioners, believe in that tool, then that tool will remain a formality. So the first
Very
thing,
true.
a large scale training of teachers on the worth and why do we need it's not a fashion, it's not the newest buzzword. Why do we need them? Because whatever, for me, I've been a committed learning outcome user for maybe 25 or odd years because of my work in the open system. But the fact is, if the large body of teachers, they do it because it's an institutional practice, it's a must have. Unless it वो रवायत रहेगी, वो अपना पैशन नहीं बनेगा कभी भी जब तक हम बिलीव
Very
नहीं.
true. Very true. Very true. Very true. So now we have discussed a lot like, yeah, you wanted to make a comment. Okay.
Adding on to what ma'am said, I would just like to contribute one thought that way back in 1978, Dr. Margaret Thatcher, the then Prime Minister of England, Britain, she donated microcomputers to India. They were in Chandigarh. Again, unless you accept it and you need people and manpower to at least deliver. So our Pro-Chancellor ma'am, Dr. Madhuchit Kara ma'am, she was given the duty of teaching the teachers for microprocessors in those times. So like she said, we need to embrace the change क्योंकि वक्त के साथ साथ चलता रहे यही बेहतर है आदमी के लिए. We go with that thought, embrace the world that is coming out in times to come, and growth is, I think, is the next see that what India is super power today in terms of our techies brains. The entire Silicon Valley runs on Indian brains.
No, wonderful. It's just 70 minutes just passed like this is slide like this. I think this is such a deep topic, and I think we'll have a series of panel discussions to discuss various different aspects. So thank you so much for joining. Now, Purvesh Matra is here, my colleague. He will really demonstrate you the magic of how do we really use a very robust AI and digital technology to implement the learning outcome-based education and measure learning outcome, and of course, improve the learning outcome. Over to you, Purvesh.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
And then after that, after Purve's session, we can really take the questions from audience.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So good afternoon, good evening to everyone. My name is Purvesh. I work here as an head for customer experience. So we heard the esteemed panelist speakers, and we discussed all the challenges that the universities and colleges facing to measure the learning outcomes. So here we are with Assessfy AI. So where we have attempted to solve these problems, where you can measure as well as improve the learning outcomes beyond compliance, basically. So let me quickly start with my presentation and show you what exactly Assessfy AI is offering you. So this is my quick short agenda that I'm going to cover in today's presentation. So this is the first challenge that I would like to discuss, where we say that the alignment of questions, the question item with the course outcome is unclear. So here, what we have discussed with a lot of faculties, teachers, they say they are doing this complete in a manual process, the mapping of their questions. So here we are with the solution where the system, a machine will help you to map your questions, the question repository with the course outcomes that you have. So before that, please have a look at this video, which will enlighten and let you know what exactly we are trying to do.
Presenting you Assessfy, the world's first AI-powered auto-learning outcome measurement system. Let's explore the magic in this video, showcasing some sample questions. Now, Assessfy is utilizing AI to automatically categorize the learning outcome level for each question based on Bloom's taxonomy or any other framework, a process that is both challenging and time-consuming. Here you go. Now observe how Assessfy AI automatically categorizes the learning outcome for each question. Moreover, it provides you with the rationale behind allocating a specific learning outcome level, explaining you whether a question assesses candidates' recall or knowledge, probes their understanding or application of knowledge or capability to analyze or evaluate or create. This lays down the foundation for further measuring learning outcome at course level or program level of individual or group, cohort or class.
So this is the first step where how you can map the question items with the course outcomes to measure the course outcome of your students, basically. So here, as you can see on the screen, we have just demonstrated to what exactly we're doing. So let me quickly show you on the real platform how the course outcomes are mapped, basically. So as you can see, I'm just doing a course mapping, a question mapping for Python programming, a course of engineering of the coding type of questions. So here just need to select the questions, okay, and just need to click on generate CLO, and it will use the AI to map the questions with the respective course outcome. So meanwhile, when it is doing this magic, let me tell you the logic behind this. Basically, why you need a machine to do this mapping? So cannot this be done by a human or teachers, faculty? Definitely they can do it, but there is a limitation of human. Basically, to map the questions, to read the question and to read the title of the course outcome and then to do it manually, it really a difficult task for the faculty members. So here we have a machine to do that, basically AI, which will definitely within few minutes, few seconds, it will tell you what exactly the mapping is been done. At the same time, it will also provide a feedback or like a remark with basically why the mapping was done with this particular course outcome. And it works very smoothly for customized outcomes as well, and for Bloom's taxonomy as well, or rather any other taxonomy that has been worldwide used. So here you can see how well it is providing a remark here, like why this question is mapped as CLO3 for this particular outcome. It is telling you the reason behind that. Let us go to the next screen, where, as I said, that this platform is very customized, well working with the customized outcomes, as well as it is very well working with the Bloom's taxonomy as well. So any taxonomy that you're using in your university and college, you can just feed that into the system and it will start doing the mapping for those questions. So this is the process where basically how you can add the course outcome, the customized course outcome, I would like to say. As you can see on the screen, this is I'm just showing you for a machine learning course. Okay, You just need to add the code of the title. You need to add the title of your outcome, and even you can mention the weightage as well. And on the screen, it is not only telling you the how to input it, it is also mentioning you the mapping with the Bloom's taxonomy as well, where we have seen a lot of colleges, universities, they do their to check the accuracy of their course outcome. They even map their course outcome with the Bloom's taxonomy. So here we have that feature where the AI will help you to map this. Let's go to the next slide. Yeah, so once you are done with the mapping of your questions, what next? So the next step is the assessments basically. So before I show you the assessment part, I would like to show you the reports part first, where how the reports are generated, what exactly the report tells you. I will just quickly show. Before that, please have a look at this video, which will definitely tell you what exactly Assessfy is doing.
Presenting you, Assessfy, the world's first AI-powered auto-learning outcome measurement system. Let's look at measurement of learning outcome. A singular outcome like B grade or score of 62 out of 100 is an abstract number, offering no insight into a candidate's capabilities at a granular level. Here is Assessfy AI providing you with deeper level insights into proficiency across the 6 cognitive knowledge and skill levels defined by Bloom's taxonomy. For instance, in this assessment, a candidate performed very well in recall or knowledge, and understanding but poorly on higher cognitive capabilities like application of knowledge, ability to analyze, evaluate, and create. Now you can take action based on this insight. Isn't this a better approach than relying on a singular outcome matrix, such as a simple score? Connect.
So as you have seen on the screen, this platform is not only telling you the grades, the scores of the students, it is bifurcating those grades into these cognitive capabilities and telling you the exact cognitive levels of these students once they go through the assessments. So this can be done with the help of Bloom's taxonomy, as I mentioned, or you can use your customized course outcome as well. So this is the first report that the platform supports. This is an individual candidate report where it tells you exactly where the candidate stands. Okay. Similarly, the next report that the platform generates is the learning outcome attainment report. So now this is on the cohort level, basically for the complete class, for all the students it is telling you, and this is course wise. So as you can see on the screen, what exactly it does, it takes the combination of all the assessments that you have taken under this particular course. Okay. And on the left side, as you can see, this is the student name. On the right side, it is telling you what type of assessments, multiple choice, subjective coding, what you have taken, and then the grades, marks, it is doing the combination. And finally, in the next part of this report, it is telling you where exactly the student has done the attainment of the course outcome or not, where for each course outcome it is mentioning you basically the green color highlights the attainment is achieved and red color is like the attainment is not achieved. And finally, at the below, you can see it is for complete cohort. You can see whether the attainment for this particular course is been achieved or not. And you have the complete freedom of defining the rubrics, defining the threshold of this complete report. You have the complete freedom with you. So now this was the second report that I have just shown. Next, now once you have.
And then the best part, as Professor Kiran, you have pointed out, that all the data is seamlessly flowing from all kind of assessment, whether it is a PBL, whether it is a coding, whether it is a case study, whether it is a Viva, right, whether it is a MCQ, right? So it is not a silo, right? And that's why you don't have to really manage the hundreds of Excel sheet, right? And which eventually cracks. And then you just create a learning outcome report, which is perhaps I would use very harsh word, which is a fake report, right? It is not a truly reflection. Here you precisely know what is happening. You also know what kind of questions you're actually asking. Are you asking questions on lower cognitive capability or higher cognitive capability? Of course, you can really keep on changing the threshold level. This reduces down the faculty's load by 90%. So that faculty can really devote more time in terms of really identifying better industry projects, better assignments, right? Improving personalized teaching, doing the personal intervention, those kind of stuff.
I think it solves whatever my question was. I think
Yes,
half of the
yes,
answer.
yes, yes, yeah. And most of the LMS, they are not a learning management system. They are primarily content distribution systems, right? So they don't give you this outcome-based kind of reports, which is the foundation in
It
learning.
encompasses the entire, I think, all the
Yeah,
points.
yeah. Please
Great.
move ahead. Thank you.
Yeah. So the next, it tells you it measures the gaps basically. So like letting you know what the course learning outcome is attend or not. It also tells you the gaps between the learning that has happened to the students basically. And at the top of that, it provides a feedback and actionable recommendations to the students as well beyond compliance. So how does it work really here? So it will show you once the assessments are done for each assessment, what are topics that are covered basically for each topic, what was the performance of the students, it will tell you in this report. Okay, so you're better know that okay, on this topic I need to rework or I need to have some more sessions or no more assessment. That definitely you'll get to know from this report basically. Then the next part of this reports are that the same report, cognitive level report that I've just shown you just few slides back, that was for individual candidate. Here it is telling you for the complete cohort, for the complete class basically. It is the same cognitive report. And finally, it provides the recommendations as well for each assessment. What are assessments are done, what are the grades or marks the student has achieved. On that basis, these recommendations are automatically generated. These are not manually fitted, these are automatically generated by the AI, and it is providing the feedback to teachers as well as to the students at the same time. Then now we come to the next part of the presentation, I would say. So far now we have seen the first and the last part. To conclude now, the first and last part where how the mapping of the questions can be done and what are reports are generated. Now let me tell you the middle part, basically the assessment part, how the platform is doing the auto evaluation, for which type of assessments it has been done. So let me quickly cover that. And this is the challenge that we have seen basically in the manual evaluation, where the AI will definitely help you to do it automatically and at the same time to do it fast as well. So to do that, the platform supports first, even you can generate the questions with the help of this platform. Okay, for different types of questions can be generated, multiple choice, coding on your need basically. This is some prerequisite that are required. Type of questions, for which category you are creating the questions, for which course you want to create the question. If there are any topics, subtopics, you can select that. Important part is that the difficulty level. Okay, and even you can generate the questions on the course outcome basis as well. Correct. So this definitely not only helping you to map, it is also helping you to generate the new questions as well. Correct. So this way the generation happens basically. Once you click on generate, it takes some time and it provides results. So let me quickly fast forward, and at the same time it is also mapping those questions with the course outcome as well. Correct. So this was it. Then next, you can create the assessments, multiple choice, descriptive, coding, oral, correct, mixed exam. Then this is the process of creating the assessments. Once the assessments are created, you can definitely have a preview of that assessment. Basically, assessment is like you're creating a question paper. So if you want to preview that question paper, you can do it from this particular screen. Okay. And if you just see on this question paper, it is not only telling you the question, it is also telling you from which course outcome this question was picked. Okay. So as a teacher, as a faculty, you are already aware that whether my question paper is well balanced with my course outcome or not. Correct. If I feel like, okay, so this course outcome is missing, I need to delete or add some new question, you can definitely do that here. So once you're done with the preview, the question paper ready, finally the student need to go through the assessment, and then the real magic comes here, the evaluation of the assessment. So let me quickly walk you through the manual evaluation of how it really works. Simple manual evaluation, there is no AI involved. You manually see the questions, you can integrate the rubrics as well, and on that basis physically you can see the answer sheet, and manually you can provide the grades in this process basically. So this is, I'm showing you for a handwritten example. Okay, you can see a physical look here at the question paper answer sheet basically. Okay, and finally you can manually just input the grades. So this was the manual evaluation. Let me quickly show you the auto evaluation where the real magic happens. Correct. So in the auto evaluation, what the system does is, okay, it will transcribe this particular answer in a digital format, and then the evaluation will happen. Okay, so please have a look at this answer sheet, how really it looks. And the next innovation that we have done here is that it is not only doing the evaluation, it is doing the evaluation on the basis of the rubrics that you have feeded for this particular assessment. So as you can see, this is the rubrics that was feeded. Okay, please have a look at this rubrics as well. And this is not a single level, this is a multi-level rubrics that we have used here. like the understanding. So this complete rubrics can be customized. Again, this is for just demo we have shown. Faculty has a complete freedom to do this modifications. Multi-level, single level, you can do it on your own. Now what it does the transcript of the answer sheet, okay, and then as the way human does, it will do the evaluation for each step. It will check whether the step is correct, whether the step is incorrect. So again, it depends on the type of paper, basically, whether it is an equation kind of paper, whether it is a case study type kind of question. So it depends basically here. Now complete evaluation is done by the AI. There is no human involvement here. And for each incorrect step, it is providing a feedback and a hint as well. Correct. So the way human does, it is doing here. So now just imagine in the case where you're manually evaluating these answer sheets for assessment. So it is very difficult when you provide multiple assessments, like 10, 15, 20 assessments you are providing to do this task manually and to provide the feedback. It is completely difficult task for the teachers here. Now what it provides this feedback, and it is providing a summative feedback as well at the bottom, basically what exactly the student has done. And basically here we say that the student are learning basically after the assessments are done. And finally, even you can see the gradings. Basically, if you want to change the grading, you have the complete co-pilot mode as well, and you can go and manually do the changes as well, the way the faculty is doing it. So this way you can do the manual modifications as well. So this was for the auto evaluation in the case of hand written answer sheets. Now the platform, these are some more examples. Yeah, so I'll just quickly show you the coding assessments. Basically here, as you can see, this is the question. Okay, in the coding example, the student gets a compiler, online compiler, where they need to write the code. Okay, and simply they can submit this code after the answer they have written. And the AI will, and in coding assessment, the accuracy level is 100% basically. Here it will do the auto evaluation, and the format is same. It will provide a feedback, and there is one more layer here, like it provides an inline code review as well. Correct. And as a teacher, even you can do a manual check as well if you feel like. Correct. So here you can see now this feedback is provided by AI. There is no human intervention in this. The AI has completely done the evaluation, and just to see, it also provides an inline code review. So as you can see in the previous example, I have shown you a step-by-step analysis for a handwritten theoretical paper. For coding, we are providing an inline code review, where it checks the code line by line as the faculty or teacher will do, and it provides where the syntax error was there, where was the issue in the code. And definitely, again, the idea is that the students are learning after this assessments, after the evaluation is done, particularly.
And you will agree that in India, we don't have a culture of giving the written feedback. We can put students and can give them again for hours and hours, but we don't give the objective feedback because of a culture and because of a logistic reasons. But as a human being, we learn with the feedback. And here the feedback is quick. And that's how our biological neuron actually learns quicker once you really give the instant feedback. And that we have seen with thousands of students over last 2 years. Yeah, Purvesh, move ahead.
Yes, so some examples of simple plain text. Okay, even it works there. Then then we have some oral assessments.
Purvesh, just go back. So what we have seen, a lot of universities, those who have started using our platform, and we have seen that now they are cursed with ChatGPT or Gemini of the world, right? So they have stopped doing any kind of digital assignment upload because the students are cheating. So what they have done, they started using the paper and pen, including University of Sydney, including University of Rutgers, right? So they have said, okay, stop all kind of digital assignment uploading on the LMS, come back to the classroom, use paper and pen and write the examination, right? Some of our clients, what they're doing, they're not overloading the administrators. They are, after examination, giving the 5-minute time to student to upload, scan the answer sheet using their mobile phone and upload. And that way, they are actually reducing the time to really create the results, but at the same time, they're able to really map the learning outcome right from formative assessment, quizzes to final end term examinations and everything. And give the feedback as well. Go ahead, Purvesh.
Yes. So we have some more examples for oral assessments as well. Okay. So here the student need to submit their response in the format of voice actually. Okay. They can read the question. Okay. And they can submit their voice as well. And again, the auto evaluation will happen on that. So please hear it out.
A linked list consists of two parts, which is information and the link. In a single connected listening, the beginning of the list is marked by a unique pointer.
So basically what it does, it will do a transcript of audio to text and then the auto evaluation will perform. And even here also it will provide you the grades, auto grades, and it will provide a feedback as well for the students. So maybe for any format that you're using this platform for, this will provide the auto evaluation and the personalized feedback as well. Correct? Yeah, so this was a glimpse where how you can use it for a co-pilot mode. Okay, so basically the co-pilot mode is that you can have a manual intervention, you can change the feedback that is provided by the AI, you can change the grades as well. Okay, yeah, yeah, this way you can just do the modification. Yes, so we'll quickly move to the next part of the presentation where we also want to demonstrate you how the platform can be used for a project-based learning and evaluation. So this is a short agenda for PBL, exactly what I'm going to demonstrate here. So the platform can be used for to have a project ideas. So different project ideas are already fed into the platform. Okay, so for engineering, for management, you can just go and use those project ideas and give the project to the students basically. So as you can see from here, you can just select the project ideas basically. So they are linked with the branch wise project ideas are available: civil engineering, mechanical engineering, management studies, okay, artificial intelligence. So any program branch you can just select, and on that basis you can select the project ideas as well. Okay, so the key point here is that it is not only providing you idea, it is providing you the major details about that idea, like what should be the milestone of that project, what is the description, what is the skills that are required. Okay, so you can see a complete detail of that project can be received here: skill set, prerequisite, the tools that are required to complete the project. So the students are well aware, like before going through these project ideas, they are well aware that okay, so these are the skill set that they need to have. Correct, so you can see, okay, this way it is also providing the milestone. You can have the complete modification while using these ideas as well. The grades, the titles you can change at your own convenience. The next step is like creating the submission link. Okay, now like the student need to submit their project, so you can create that using the platform. Then the next part is that the student portal, basically student receives their login credential, they can do the submission of their assignments. I'll just quickly go to the next. And finally, yeah, this is the important part where as a teacher you can do the monitoring and tracking of that project progress. Correct, so all the project submission link that you have created, the groups that you have created for the students, from your admin account you can do a complete monitoring for that. So please have a look that how really it works. You just go to the particular project title. Now here you can see the what are project ideas that you have provided for the students. What is the project, what is the student group that is there, what is the status of that project. You can completely have a look at this. Correct, now this is the project submission link. You can see the complete details of the project, what was the timeline for the project. Okay, this is the student group that was there in the project, enrolled in that. You can see for each milestone what was the marks, what was the timeline, what are students who has done the upload or the submission for this particular milestone. You can have a look at that. Okay, you can even see the status, this last milestone is pending here. Correct, once you click on preview, you can even see the submissions that are provided by the students. Yeah, so this way you can see the submissions that are provided. So basically this is a digital framework or digital platform that we are providing where you can have these submissions of the students. And not only that, a first level of auto evaluation is also it works, and it does the evaluation on the basis of the rubrics that you're feeding for your project title. Let's move forward. Yes, yeah, so this way it does the grading as well. Okay, now yeah, so this particular title was for project milestone was for 5 marks. It is providing the grades as well for all these. Again, it depends, like the project is a group wise project or individual project. On that basis this customizations can be done definitely. Yes sir. So that's it from my side. Thank you so much sir. Any questions?
Thank you, Purvesh. Yeah, thank you, Purvesh. Thank you so much. If any question from the audience, I think we've already exceeded our time limit. So I take this opportunity as we are closing this panel discussion. I take this opportunity to express my thanks and gratitude to all the speakers and all the participants from across the globe. Thank you so much, Dr. Harikiran, Dr. Sandeep, Dr. P.B. Sharma, Dr. Rajul, Dr. Babu, Dr. Shyamli, Dr. Madhulika. Thank you so much for joining for this panel discussion. And I think this is just beginning of this conversation. Let's go with not only with thought that this panel was an exciting panel discussion, but let's take few of the learning which we will be able to really convert into the actions, and we will be able to really implement in our classroom and our universities and our institutions to truly really transform the education, and we can really create a better learner ecosystem. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone.